every single fight to make next in the UFC Featherweight division. Our Monday Matchmaker video we do every single Monday and look at the people in the top 20 of every single division and see who they should be fighting next. This time it is the Featherweight division, so everyone from Ryan Hall all the way up to Alexander Volkanovski, we need to see who they should all be fighting next. And the guy at the bottom of that list is going to be Ryan Hall, who came off a really devastating TKO loss to Ilia Topuria in his last fight. But in this instance of what we say he should be fighting next, I think he should be fighting Kamuela Kirk, who just got a really solid win on short notice against, where is he, Makwan Amirkhani, who is ranked right now as the 29th best fighter in the featherweight division, only losing to Shane Burgos, Edson Barbosa, Arnold Allen, and then Kamuela Kirk. So Kamuela Kirk is with some elite company with Edson Barbosa, Shane Burgos, and Arnold Allen, who are all ranked fighters in the featherweight division, and Kamuela Kirk also ended up beating Makwan Amirkhani. So right now, I think that'd be a good step up in competition. I don't think Ryan Hall deserves a step up. He definitely deserves a step down after that really bad performance on Ilia Topuria. So in my opinion, Ryan Hall versus Kamuela Kirk. If Kamuela Kirk wins, he gets a top 15 fight. If Ryan Hall wins, he also gets a top 15 fight. Overall, really good fight in the featherweight division. After that one, we go into Hakeem Dawodu, who is right now the number 22 fighter on Tapology. 12 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Coming off a loss to Movsar Evloev in his last fight, who is ranked, has 15 wins, 0 losses, and is currently ranked as the number 13 featherweight in the world. He's not going to get a step up in competition, so in my opinion, Hakeem Dawodu should fight one of the up-and-coming prospects in Lerone Murphy, who has an undefeated record in this featherweight division, or Charles Jourdain. That fight is going to be happening on September 4th. Charles Jourdain and Lerone Murphy, who's ranked at number 28 right there. If Lerone Murphy can win the fight, he'll be 11-0-1. And that pretty much, in my opinion, deserves a good step up in competition. A good step up would be Hakeem Dawodu, and it'd be a really good fight. I think Lerone Murphy would end up beating Charles Jourdain, and Hakeem Dawodu versus Lerone Murphy is an amazing fight. I really want to see that one for sure. Hakeem Dawodu, Lerone Murphy, or Hakeem Dawodu, Charles Jourdain, whoever wins that fight right there. And then we got Andre Fili, who is ranked right now as the 21st best featherweight fighter on Tapology. Coming off, it was a win over Daniel Pineda, but he did poke the eye of Daniel Pineda. It was turned to a no contest. Before that, losing to Bryce Mitchell. Before that, beating Charles Jourdain. So he just got a win, or he just got a win over a guy below him. But before that, he lost to Bryce Mitchell, who's ranked right here at number 14. So in my opinion, Andre Touchy Fili should get a step down in competition, and both Andre Fili and Alex Caceres right here are kind of the gatekeepers of the featherweight division. They're just giving them all the newcomers right outside the top 15. So in my opinion, put the two gatekeepers against each other, Alex Caceres and Andre Fili, to see who is the real gatekeeper of the featherweight division. But Alex Caceres right now is ranked at number 30. And then Andre Fili is ranked at number 21. Alex Caceres definitely deserves a step up after a 4-fight win streak over Kevin Kroom, Austin Springer, Jace Hooper, and then Steven Peterson. So I think it'd be a good fight over two veterans in the UFC featherweight division. Winner, they're probably going to get a fight against the number 15 guy, number 16 guy, something like that. But either way, Andre Fili versus Alex Caceres seems like a pretty good gatekeeper versus gatekeeper type of fight right there. And then we got some veterans of the featherweight division right here. Cub Swanson and Darren Elkins right here. So, Cub Swanson is ranked at number 20 in the featherweight division. Darren Elkins is ranked number 24. I really don't see how Cub Swanson is going to get a step up in competition after getting knocked out pretty bad against Giga Chikadze. So I don't think he's going to fight Andre Fili, because I already said that he's going to be fighting the other guy. Not going to be fighting Dawodu, Ryan Hall, any of those guys. I think a veteran versus veteran fight would do pretty good. So Darren Elkins versus Cub Swanson would be a really good fight. Veteran guy, 26 wins, 9 losses against a guy, 27 wins, 12 losses. Amazing veteran fight in the featherweight division. I'm probably going to go Cub Swanson to win, but it'd be a really good fight. So Cub Swanson versus Darren Elkins right there. After that fight, we go on to the actual UFC rankings in Ilia Topuria versus Shane Burgos, number 14 versus number 15. Ilia Topuria, an undefeated fighter inside of the UFC and outside of the UFC with a record of 11 wins and 0 losses, definitely deserves a step up in competition. That is definitely for sure. And Shane Burgos definitely deserves a step down in competition after losing 2 fights to Edson Barbosa and Josh Emmett right there. So, I mean, Shane Burgos versus Ilia Topuria is a really, really good fight. The winner of this one, in my opinion, should probably fight like the loser of Edson Barbosa, Giga Chikadze, or something like that. But either way, it's a banger of a fight. Ilia Topuria, the up-and-coming prospect, versus Shane Burgos, who is such an exciting fighter to watch. But this fight is an absolutely amazing fight. Could not wait to see this one. Ilia Topuria and Shane Burgos right there. And then, of course, we got Shane Burgos at number 14. And then we got Movsar Evloev and then Dan Ige right here. This is another really, really solid fight. Movsar Evloev, right now on the UFC rankings, is at number 13, an undefeated fighter with a lot of wins, 15 wins, 0 losses. And he's probably going to fight someone right around where Dan Ige is. And Dan Ige, he's 1-2 in his last couple of fights against Calvin Kattar and then against Chansung Jung. So I really doubt they're going to give him another step up against another guy in the top 5 like Calvin Kattar or Chansung Jung. They're not going to give him Giga or Edson or anything like that. They're going to give him a step down. Shane Burgos, in my opinion, is going to be fighting Ilia Topuria. So the only logical choice, in my opinion, would be to put Dan Ige versus Movsar Evloev. That'd be a really, really good fight. I mean, right now, Dan Ige, he keeps on winning fights. If he keeps winning fights against guys that are right outside the top 15 or barely inside the top 15, whenever he gets that big step up in competition, he tends to lose those big opportunities, like against Calvin Kattar and Chansung Jung. So a little refresher fight with Movsar Evloev. If Movsar wins, that puts him near the top 10 of the UFC featherweight division. If Dan Ige wins, that puts him right back in line to get another fight in the top 5 or something like that. But overall, Movsar Evloev versus Dan Ige seems like a really, really good fight to me right there. Then we got Sodiq Yusuff right here, who is currently ranked as number 12 in the UFC featherweight rankings. And we got Sungwoo Choi right here. He's on a 3-fight win streak over Suman Mokhtarian, Youssef Zalal, and then Julian Arosa. He's been looking really, really good right now. His striking's been looking really crisp. His takedown defense has also been looking really, really good. Definitely deserves a step up in competition. I already put out who all these guys should be fighting next. So the most logical choice, in my opinion, seems like a Sodiq Yusuff fight with Sungwoo Choi, because Sodiq Yusuff just come off a loss. He's not going to get a step up. He's going to get a step down, and a perfect fight for Sodiq Yusuff would be Sungwoo Choi. If Sungwoo Choi wins, he's in the top 15. If Sodiq Yusuff wins, probably gets a fight inside the top 10 right after that. Maybe against a Dan Ige, maybe against Edson Barbosa, something like that. But either way, Sodiq Yusuff versus Sungwoo Choi seems like a perfect fight to make in the featherweight division right there. Then we got Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett. A lot of people were saying Josh Emmett versus Calvin Kattar. But there's just really, if you do that where you have Josh Emmett and Calvin Kattar, there really isn't much to do with Bryce Mitchell. At that point, there's not really anything to do. Because Bryce Mitchell is the number 11 guy. Giga and Edson are fighting. Dan Ige, in my opinion, should be fighting Movsar Evloev. And then there's Josh Emmett right there. So I think Bryce Mitchell deserves a step up. Calvin Kattar, I think should probably just wait it out a little bit and fight someone else, because he just came off a devastating loss to Max Holloway. So in my opinion, Bryce Mitchell versus Josh Emmett seems like a good fight to make. The winner of that one, I think, should definitely get like a Yair Rodriguez, a Chansung Jung, one of those type of guys in the top 3, top 4 of the featherweight division. That's what I think should happen. But there's a lot of interesting things you could do with Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett. But personally, I think Bryce Mitchell should fight Josh Emmett right there, and that'd be an amazing, amazing fight right there. And then, of course, this fight is already booked. One of the only fights in the top 15 that is booked is Giga Chikadze and Edson Barbosa, the number 10 and number 9 fighters in the featherweight division. Kickboxer versus kickboxer right there. Amazing, amazing fight right there. So not really too much to say right there. The winner of that one, I'm not even too sure who they should fight. If they win the fight, maybe they fight Chansung Jung, maybe they fight Calvin Kattar. I don't know. I don't know who the winner of this one's going to fight, but it is a really, really banger of a fight with Edson Barbosa and Giga Chikadze. Absolutely amazing fight. I mean, Giga Chikadze is a pretty big favorite on there at -160. Edson Barbosa being a heavy underdog, surprisingly, but it's a really good fight. I'm really, really glad the matchmakers of the UFC made this fight, because I would, like, personally, I would have made the fight for sure, because it's an absolute banger. But yeah, Edson Barbosa versus Giga Chikadze, amazing fight. And then, of course, we got Dan Ige versus Movsar Evloev. We already talked about it earlier on in the stream. But Dan Ige, Movsar Evloev makes the most sense, because Dan Ige is not going to get a step up. And below him, Yair's probably going to fight Max. Giga and Edson are already fighting. Zabit's kind of retired, sort of. Shane Burgos is going to go down in the rankings a little bit. So, personally, I think Movsar and Dan Ige would make a really, really good fight right there. We already said this again. Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. Really, really solid fight right there. Cannot wait for that one as well. And then we go on a sort of right around that top 5 of the UFC featherweight division. At number 6 and number 5, the winner of this fight, in my opinion, I don't know who they should get, because we don't have no idea what the UFC featherweight division is gonna look like at that time. But I'm probably saying the winner of this fight should get the loser of Yair Rodriguez Max Holloway. But either way, number 5 versus number 6, a winner gets a top 3 opponent in the featherweight division. Seems like a really, really good idea to me. But Arnold Allen, Calvin Kattar, absolute banger. I don't really know who I would pick to win the fight, but I do know whoever wins should definitely get a fight in the top 3 of the UFC featherweight division against either Yair Rodriguez or Max Holloway, whoever wins that one. But it's a really, really good fight. After that one, we got Chan Sung Jung, who is ranked right now at number 4, coming off a win over Dane Ige. Before that, losing to Brian Ortega. Now, I did put right here that Chan Sung Jung should fight the loser of Volkanovski and Ortega. The only way I would do that is if Volkanovski loses. If Ortega loses, I don't really see the need of doing Ortega Chan Sung Jung 2, because we obviously saw Ortega win that fight pretty dominantly. So if Volkanovski loses, then I do Volkanovski versus Chan Sung Jung as a really, really good fight right there. Other than that, I don't really see anything else I could really do with Chan Sung Jung. Maybe only the loser, if the loser is Volkanovski. That'd be the best thing I would say for Chan Sung Jung right there. But there's definitely a couple more things you could do. Maybe give him another prospect in the featherweight division. Maybe he just waits it out, and one of these younger guys up here, maybe Giga Chikadze and Barbosa, they go at it, they fight each other, and they come back really, really fast and fight Chan Sung Jung. There's a lot of things that can happen. In my opinion, the 2 best contenders would be the loser of Volkanovski Ortega. Most likely, if the loser is Volkanovski, then I do that. But if the loser is Ortega, then I'll consider doing the winner of Giga Chikadze and Edson Barbosa versus Chan Sung Jung. I think those fights would be like really, really good fights, though. And then after that one from Chan Sung Jung, we go on to Yair Rodriguez. The fight was already scheduled to happen. I'm not too sure what happened to make it get canceled, but Yair and Max Holloway were supposed to fight. The winner of this fight, in my opinion, should then fight the winner of Volkanovski and Ortega. Really, really good fight right there. Boxer versus kickboxer, amazing fight. I'm definitely going Max Holloway. I think if Yair Rodriguez loses, probably should put up against Calvin Kattar or Arnold Allen, the winner of this fight, but there's a lot of things you can do there. But obviously, Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway is definitely the next fight to make. Winner fights for the belt. Then we got Brian Ortega. It's pretty obvious. Of course, Brian Ortega is already fighting for the UFC featherweight belt against Alexander Volkanovski, so it's pretty self-explanatory right there. Again, Max Holloway versus Yair, and then Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega. Lots of really good fights you can make in the top 15 and top 20 of the UFC featherweight division right there. I got Ryan Hall fighting Camuela Kirk. Really, really good fight right there. Hakeem Dawodu fighting the winner of Lerone Murphy and Charles Jourdain. Andre Fili versus Alex Caceres. Cub Swanson versus Darren Elkins. Ilya Taporia versus Shane Burgos. And then Shane Burgos versus Ilya Taporia. Movsar Evloev versus Dan Ige. So DQ Su versus Sung Woo Choi. Bryce Mitchell versus Josh Emmett. Giga Chikadze versus Edson Barbosa. That fight's already happened. It's already about to happen. Edson Barbosa versus Giga, of course. Dan Ige versus Movsar Evloev. Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell right there. Arnold Allen versus Calvin Kattar. Winner gets Yair or Max Holloway. Whoever loses that one. Of course, Chan Sung Jung versus Volkanovski versus Ortega. If Volkanovski loses, then I do Volkanovski versus Chan Sung Jung. If Ortega loses, then I do Chan Sung Jung versus the winner of Edson Barbosa and Giga Chikadze. Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway, and then Brian Ortega and Alexander Volkanovski. Lots of amazing fights to make right here. If you guys want to change anything to the list, because there's a lot of things that can happen, there are some guys out here, maybe like a Groovy, Lando Manata, maybe a Maz, and he's in Bellator right now. But there's a lot of other guys you can kind of put in here and put them against some of the guys that I put in the video. But if you guys want to change anything to my list right here, put that down in the comment section below. I'd love to see what you guys would change. But this is my list for everyone in the top 20 of the featherweight division, who they should all fight next. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and everything like that. And we'll see you in the next video. Let's go.